Okay, so I'm back and listening to myself on the Twitch stream. So this is our third Twitch stream doing UE4. My name is Simon Warwick, and what we're going to do today is probably going to be something that we do most weeks, because as is in this industry, we always have to be learning all the time. And there's a few new things that came out in Unreal 4 that I've been really interested to learn. That being Niagara, which is the new VFX tool, but also there's this new Skyscape system that's came out in 4.25, and there is, and in 4.26 there's like a lot of cool stuff coming out as well. So there's lots of neat stuff that I want to talk about just in today, but I'm going to be learning as I go, and I think that's half the fun, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. It may also be a sort of a boring experience for people watching, but for me, it gets two things done at once. I get to do a Twitch stream where I get to answer questions from people if they want to ask me stuff, but also it was like get myself set up here to make sure I read the questions. That always helps. But also I'm going to be spending some time trying some of these new features. And also notice how my backdrop has been simplified down. I can't keep up with the non-green screen green screening, which I was doing in the last two ones. I decided to bring it down to something a little more simple. We still have the moving scene from a real-time environment running on my other computer, but I don't have any intention of well, at least today, I don't really want to mess with all that stuff because I'm always like, oh, look, my face disappeared. Let's fix that on the fly while I'm doing all these other complicated things. So today it's simple. And then one day I'll get a green screen and we'll be able to turn on my cool lights so that they match the scene again, and we'll see if we can get that to look cool. But in the meantime, what we're going to try to do today is import a new scene. Well, basically start where we left off last week, which was dealing with we brought in a character, did a pose, and now I'm kind of thinking, okay, let's try to create an environment for this character to be in, or a backdrop or something. And there's this brand new scene, sky scene that you can use in 4.25, which I haven't even had a chance to play with. So there's going to be a lot of mistakes, a lot of me learning and doing silly things, which is hopefully not going to be too boring to watch, but we'll see how it goes. And so let me try and prepare my backdrop here. I wasn't really thinking about what I was doing here. And we'll jump over to the video and we'll do the transition over. Okay, so what we got here is a video that's called From Ants to Outer Space, which is something that came out in the new it just came out recently. If you ever were following the Unreal launcher, there's so much crazy stuff coming out recently. I don't even know if it's on the front page anymore, but it's cool that it talks about how to use the new sky system, which regardless, I don't know whether I'll actually be able to get this working or not, because as you can see, it's 4.26 is a lot of the features, like these volumetric clouds, which are super amazing. All these things are like super amazing. Like just looking at this scene, you're just like, what? You can do this in a real-time environment? That's insane. And these planets are really far away in the atmosphere, and they're being properly like drawn as if they were planets. And technically, the way he has it set up in this video is if you move yourself outside of the environment, then you actually start to see, well, he's got it so that you start to see stars, but technically you can't really see stars if you come out of the environment because you're overexposed based on the atmosphere of the planet in front of you. But anyway, you can make it show anyways, just for fun. So we're going to try to do that today. I'm not going to use, I think he's got a different kind of landscape that he's using. He's brought in some, I don't really see where it is. I mean, he's bringing in Quixel mega scans, but the part that I don't really know how he's doing it is a spherical shader. Maybe that's what it is. Just whatever it is that's creating this. Basically, when you zoom out, you can see a planet. Like that's not something I'm going to be able to do, but that's okay. I'm not really worried about that. All I want to do is create a backdrop for the character that we created in the last scene. So what I'm going to try to use is an asset that I have from one of the free assets from this month, because hey, this is cool, right? It's free stuff, and there's some really good things out there this month. There's always good stuff every month, but some of the good free ones this month was these 2 landscape ones. So I'm going to do the spring landscape, and we're going to see if we can I mean, it already looks awesome. I don't know if I'm really going to be making any sense to add this giant scenic thing, but anyway, we're just starting somewhere. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we'll change it up. We could just make a simple scene too, but so I've already added it to our project. So I'm going to jump over to my Perforce, and we're going to open up the project we were working on last week, which let's see if I can still find it. We got what's it? No, that's not it. It's in here. There it is. CGS character sets. And so we'll open up the project with the character and the pose. And then I've already said add to project to that project. So hopefully it's there. Yeah, there it is. And we'll turn off some of the engine content, simplify this a bit. And you know what, I should have probably tried to open up the asset. Oh, here we go. Now my stream's gonna go nuts on me here because my computer's trying to load. This is one of these arguments that maybe I should try to put my stream calculation onto another computer so that I can, I think I had this problem the first time I did a stream where I was trying to do a build of a scene, and it was using up all my processing power. I guess in theory I could maybe just amp the processing power of this OBS, or I don't even know what's doing the streaming. It must be the stream from the OBS. Try and make it make the priority higher than above normal, so that it's a little more than rest of the processes. There. See if that works any better. Anyways, I should have opened this map up earlier because I realized I'm probably going to be sitting here compiling shaders for a while. But what we should do while we're waiting is take a look at some of the stuff that they talk about in the video. Now, there's this ambitious idea I have today where I'm going to work in Niagara. We're going to make some VFX with Niagara, but I'm basically giving myself a fallback plan if, for whatever reason, this fails miserably. And then I'll be like, let's play with Niagara. And I think next week, the plan is to play with some of the control rigs that is available in 4.2, 4, and 5, where you can build rigging systems inside of Unreal. And I think there's some really interesting information that we can learn from that as well. But yeah, again, it's super beta. That one is particularly more beta than what I'm looking at today. And so everything you learn is always like, hey, it might be like that in a couple months. It might not. I don't know. But what I'm really curious is I just want to make like a simple biped and just see, can we make one? And then can we start animating with it? And that'd be kind of fun. Even if it's just really basic at this point, it's nice to just have a starting point so that at least if someone ever asks me, oh, how did that, excuse me while I move my keys out of my pocket here. If someone ever asks me, oh, what do you think of that rigging thing? I'll be like, well, this was okay, or maybe it was good, or it looks pretty promising. Like there's definitely some really cool stuff that, oh, we got a little hi from Natty Steph. So hello. That was a while ago there. Sorry for being slow. And anyway, there's some really cool stuff you can do. The rigging that looks pretty neat. Like we can do overlap and have it so that you know, you animate, but then you get this natural overlap that happens while you do it. But I'm not going to talk about that today because that is a little deeper for, you know, not necessarily being successful in what I'm doing. Oh, here we go. We got some stuff. Only 88,000 shaders to compile. Well, that's not very many. We should have that done anytime now. That was a joke. Shared data cache not in use. Performance is impacted. I don't even know what to think of that. The derived data cache. Okay. Anyways, so it's derived data cache. We definitely had a lot of that before. I know what it is, but I've never really seen it being shared. It's kind of weird. And also, I don't know why they even told me, because it looks like I'm creating my own shader cache here, my own shader compiling. So this is the scene. It looks like it's pretty huge. I just realized when I did this movement here, I'm not traveling anywhere, so it's going to be fairly large. Let me crank up my camera speed here. There we go. We got a pretty cool landscape, but you can see it's just going to be flat. You're not going to get that spherical stuff. Oh, they even got really nice clouds. I bet you that's just a sky sphere. Looks nice though. You can see here the cool textures of the grass. When you have a really smart grass shader, you can have nice detail pass down here when you get really close to it, which shows all the grass. And then as you back out, it starts to change what texture it uses. So, wow, there we go. I'm like, what just happened there? Let's see if we can demonstrate this. So we back out, and we're going from one type of texture to a different type of texture, which the transition is so seamless right now, you can barely even tell. But they're actually two different textures, two different densities, maybe even three, but I don't know. It kind of looks like it's just two. So as you go back, you don't really ever see a looping pattern. It's just this really nice, smart material that blends itself out as you get further away from the camera. And that's what gets that really nice, high quality looking landscape. Not a simple thing to do. Definitely not something I'm going to be like, let's just replicate that today. But it is really neat to appreciate what goes into just creating like a landscape texture. It's not even really something you really realize how complicated that is. Got lots of layers too. Very interesting. You must have like a pretty neat texture here. Let's go see if we can jump over to the landscape tool here and see if there's anything we can see. Paint. Got 6 different textures. None of them are finished compiling. So you probably have like the rock and the snow and the stone. And like, this is probably also, I don't know, being created from maybe a map or something. Anyways, that's not really what I'm trying to do right now. Let's jump over to the video again, try to learn a little more, and then maybe we'll be down to 70,000 shaders or something. I don't know. I don't know why there's 80,000. It seems like the texture is working pretty good already. So some of the stuff that's going to happen that he's talking about, this video, by the way, is he's really quick about just building all the stuff that he needs to just to get this effect. And the reason why I picked this one today is because it's very easy, I think.
Is being rendered, the sun is being rendered, and if you were to rotate the sun, the directional light, in fact, you can do that with a short.
I think I've gone too far here.
You're pretty much there. You can go to visual. Yes.
Oh, you know what I just realized? It's very important that I'm in 4.25, I bet. I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be working for me in 4.24. And that was one thing that I needed to do still. So I'm going to do that right away, because otherwise I may have to redo all my shader compiles. Let me just double check. I am in 4.24 still. Yeah, okay. So we're going to exit, save, and I'll show you how to switch your versions. Once you go to 4.25 though, you really can't go back again. Hold on. Just gonna get, I need to get to this project file again. So I'm gonna go show in Explorer. This pops me over here because I want to be able to go right click on the project and say switch Unreal Engine version. And then we switch this to 4.25. Oh, it says I can't set association of project because it's writable. This is because it's a perforce file, which means it's not checked out, which means I can't change it. It's kind of how source control works. So I need to check this out. And now it's got a little red checkbox, which means this is no longer set to writable. It's now read only is not turned on anymore, which it was. So now I can change the value. That's, I didn't really talk about that very much, but I'm just sort of giving you a heads up as to why I'm doing all these checkout things. Once you open up the editor and the editor is hooked up to the perforce, it's doing all this checkout stuff for you automatically in the engine. So it's like, here's the source control. It's got little green arrows. That means it's hooked up. So that's means we're good to go. If we ever want to save something, it'll automatically go. Do you want to check it out? Yes, I do. Okay, let's go back to the map and get that compiling again. So now we're in 4.25, hopefully. See, now we're even further behind on our shaders. Shared data cache not in use. Look at that, it's already done. See, what was that 80,000 shaders for? I don't know. Okay, anyways, so we're ready to go already. Awesome. That's kind of a bonus. Let's go and check out video again, see what we have. This is probably like just gonna be a couple things.
Light, as being a directional light, some light that has to be detected.
Okay, well, they're saying we need a directional light, which is fine. I'm not sure if this map already has one. Light source, yeah, it already does. Where is it? Oops, let's hit F. I should turn on my key press so that we can see what we have here. If I'm hitting a button or something, that is too weird. So where's my light? If I just actually double click my light source, it'll zoom me to it. So there's my light source. It's probably already hooked up to some of these other devices like the skylight or maybe the sky sphere. And so we may have to remove some of these because I don't think we need sky spheres if we're using this technique. So let's actually delete it. Skylight. Post-process volume. Maybe we'll hold on to that. Oh, wait. That's actually probably making it nice and blue right now. No, maybe not. Light source. Okay. It still looks pretty good. The atmospheric fog is probably making that sky look nice and blue. Okay. Let's go back to the video.
By atmosphere rendering. Once you've done that, you're pretty much there. You can go to visual effects. Sky and
I think I just missed something really important.
This directional line.
There's a checkbox he's doing.
Valley here.
Got to do that checkbox.
Need the camera at most of the time. This is our scene. Now, first things first, directional light. Here's a directional light. Dragging it a little bit more towards the center. Switching view mode to lit mode. And out of artistic purposes, I'm going to set the intensity to 12. But the really important thing here is that if you look in the advanced options, it says here, atmosphere, sunlight, yes. So you have to enable that.
Okay. Let's see if I can find it. There, it's already on, I believe. Yep. Number of intensities at 8.5. What was his at? I forget.
That registers this directional light. So I'm going to set the intensity to 12.
12. I've read somewhere a long time ago that 12 is actually supposed to be the number for sunlight. Or at least that's what Unreal's unofficially talked about as a good ratio for what the intensity of the sun is.
It says here, atmosphere sunlight. Yes, you have to enable that. That registers this directional light as being the directional light of sunlight that has to be detected by atmosphere rendering. Once you've done that, you're pretty much there. You can go to visual effects, sky and atmosphere, drag that in, and that's really pretty much it.
Boom. Visual effects. Let's see if we have it. Sky and atmosphere. Drag it in. Yay! We're back to where we were. I swear that's what we just deleted. No, we didn't. No, it was called atmospheric fog. There it is right there. I don't know whether I should get rid of that or not. Might be going back to turning on the atmosphere fog. Let me go and see what we got here. I think we still got to hook up the sunlight to it.
Having done that, we're immediately there. So you not lose it. You get the shading of the atmosphere is being rendered, the sun is being rendered, and if you were to rotate the sun.
Really? Ah, there it is. It is being rendered.
The directional light. In fact, you can do that with a shortcut Ctrl-L. If you hold Ctrl-L, and while holding it, you simply move the mouse. You can do this, and you can see it.
Wow. Control-L. Let's see if I can remember this hotkey. All right, Control-L. Wow, that does work really easily. Jeez, look at these clouds. Where are we getting clouds from? Wow, that looks awesome. Jeez. How does it know there's clouds? Okay, so there must be something funky about our sun, because there must be like a projection or something on it. I'm just curious. Yeah, I don't know. I've never added a texture to a light. Oh wait, yes I did. I was using light function, material function, and clouds. There it is. Yeah. That makes sense. All right, the cloud function is awesome. I actually kind of like that, but we're gonna clear it for the sake of making sure that I'm not doing things incorrectly here. Let me turn off the gizmos. Yeah, so anyway, this is super awesome. Definitely got to say, to do this the other way, before the system, this was not very close to accurate and definitely didn't look as cool. There was a way using the sky sphere that you could change the lighting so that when it does set, it kind of looks like a sunset, but it didn't look anything like this. And then if you went way down, the stars would show up and stuff. But this is like, it looks great. All right, so I'm having fun there. All right, what else can we learn? This is kind of what I expected, was it may not take that long to actually get it working.
All of that pretty much simply just works. That's the basics. It's 2 steps, and you're up and running. Now, that being said, there are a number of additional settings we can play around with. As you see in the properties that we have over here, a few things are important, and you're welcome to play around with all of them, but I'm going to change the ground radius to 1000. The important thing to note here on this kind of atmosphere feature is that it's physically based, so it tries to approximate, as good as it can, a real atmosphere of a planet. So it's important that it understands how large the planet is. I'm going to put it to 1000, have a pretty small planet. This is going to come into play when we go to space. Right now, more immediately though, we've got these 3 main settings: Rayleigh, Me, and Absorption. All of these have to do with the scattering of light and therefore color in the atmosphere. So this is affecting how the sky basically appears. So for example, Rayleigh scattering is primarily focused on the scattering from atmospheric gases. Me is primarily from dust, smoke, water droplets, that kind of scattering. And absorption is ozone. So if you were to lower Rayleigh scattering to a much lower amount, you can see what happens if it's 0. There is no scattering at all. Essentially, you are now looking into space. If you have a very thin atmosphere, you would have something like this. So you can play around with it. If you increase it, it gets ever redder. And you can use this to create alien environments, maybe simulate a sandstorm or anything in those kind of directions.
Cool. See if I can find these things. He was talking about the size of the planet. Ground radius. He had it at 10,000. This is at 6,000. How do I make this much larger? No. I've never had luck with this, by the way. No. I don't know how to get the speed to go past 8. Apparently changing this is supposed to help, but I've never had any luck with that. Well, you can definitely see the horizon. So let's see if we make this really tiny. So you seen any changes at all? Oh, you can only go down to 6,000. Oh yeah, starting to see the horizon getting smaller there. It's getting to be a tinier planet here. Really tiny planet. Wow. Too bad the landscape isn't matching to that at all. You're like really curious. It'd be kind of fun to find out what a small planet looks like. That's 1/10 of the size that he was using. So yeah, I don't know. Our planet's flat, so maybe we should assume that it's ginormous because it's flat. It just makes sense. There is no curvature. I'm not really sure how this really makes much of a difference. We're not really going to go out into outer space because, I mean, what's the point? You're not really going to get much of an effect. But I guess if I figured out how to get my mouse to move really fast, I could zoom out and probably see a sphere that looks like Earth. Well, it looks like a planet with atmosphere, I guess. Where did the landscape go that I was using? This one right here. This is the high res one, and then everything around it is like low res versions. Okay, let's go back. Oh, and there was all these other settings. Let's go take a look. Just for fun. We got I don't see them. I'm not on the right node here. Sky atmosphere. Atmosphere. This is the one that makes things look very dense. Ooh, look, I'm above the horizon there. Huh. Atmosphere height. Maybe that's what I want to use then. No. It's just how thick the atmosphere is. What if I just translated it downward? Oops. No, I don't know. It's definitely not going to make any sense if I go up. Ground radius, multi-scattering, atmosphere height. I don't know. I feel like there would probably be. Oh, I know. If I just take the node, where is it? And I just translate it. No. Well, the alternative is to raise the world upwards. It does not sound like a great solution. Oh well. So yeah, maybe if I grab this landscape group node, can I translate that? I don't see a gizmo. Oh well. We'll just translate this guy up. Or not. Oh, it killed my computer. it really hates this. I'm checking to see what the stream looks like. To see if it's dying right now as I am annihilating my computer as I try to translate this up just a few 100,000 units. It's already above the ground. All right, never mind. Not sure why that takes so long to load. Do have a cool looking scene though. If only the lands of the fog wasn't so high. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's not dwell on this too much. And multi-scattering. This was the effect that we were changing, which is the clarity of the sky, and it can go into a non-atmosphere world. Oops, I changed the wrong one here. Or you could look like Mars. It is very cool though. What if you go under that line? Yeah, it just looks super weird. And sorry, what was the other ones? I forget now.
Me scattering is similar. What happens there is basically we get a lot more reflection and scattering.
It's like a
of light
foggy day.
Particles that are floating around in the air, so you get a very dusty environment. And the other way around, if you bring it to zero, it gets reduced. And likewise, so with absorption scale. So those are the three main settings you can use. You can also apply an override, so it's really scattering color, so different kind of alien environments if you wish. But that's the bulk of it. Now, that being said, where this gets really, really cool, I think. First time I did this, when I first got my hands on this, it was eye-opening. You can go into space. In fact, the sky and atmosphere rendering is dependent on altitude. So, if you were to go up with the camera,
let's watch how he does this camera.
Fairly high camera settings here.
Right.
I'm using camera speed 6. I've got camera speed scale at 32. You might even think 64 or something like that.
Yes, that's what I want to do.
Point the camera up. I'm going to fly out. See, as I start flying out,
You know what? Maybe I'm supposed to use a keyboard or something. Let's try that. 64. Yeah. Let's try keyboard rising. Oh yeah, that works. What is it? This one. Oh, here we go. Hey, there it is. Pushing the 9 on my number pad. It's like flying in descent mode or something. Game mode. The other key brings me down, but then it shoots me back up again. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe that's not the right key. Oh, there we go. I have to hit 7 to go down again. All right. Well, now I know. So you just move around like a keyboard. That's how you do it, rather than using your mouse to translate, because that only goes so fast. I have no idea what this key does. It just zooms in. Oh, that's awesome. So that's key 3 and 1. I guess you can see it in my little key press in the corner there. It's kind of useful. It's kind of crazy though. I can't really stop it from coming back again. All right. So we got some cool features. I'm never really going to be able to enjoy the amazingness of the worldscape, except for it is pretty neat. Let's crank it all the way up to 128. I did make the planet really large. I don't know if that. Yeah, I don't think. There's a planet there, but there's nowhere to stand on it. So we're gonna go back to the Earth. Wow, that took a long time. All right, and let's just see here. Yeah, that does seem to affect the speed there. Still don't know how to fix that problem. Unless I just, maybe if I just put the value I want in there. The problem is I don't know if it's X, Y, or Z. Pretty sure it would be Z. And let's put like 10,000. Enter, let it load. Yeah, okay, so let's do 100,000. It's probably gonna go too high now. So maybe 50,000. All right, how's that? Oh, that's surprising. A little better. Yeah, we're above the ground now. These are mountains, so it makes sense it would be way higher than the ocean level. The problem is I've got all these guys to do as well, so they're all supposed to be up as well. So I'll move all them up to 50,000. Oh, that doesn't quite look right for some reason. So maybe 20,000. There. Wonderful. Okay, what are we going to do next? Let's go take a look at the video again. He does talk a little bit of other things that might be useful to know, but we really have accomplished the most best part.
Plane altitude, keep going up. You might call it, this is twilight zone as component transform. You can move the whole atmosphere.
See, he's got this planet. It's like a 360-degree planet with geometry, which is pretty awesome.
We've got an actual moon in here. It's an actual 3D moon. Actually, you can fly to it. In fact, we need even more speeds. And we're talking about millions and millions of units here. It's, again, amazing to see everything that the engine is handling this so well, even though you're at massive scales. So we've flown to the actual moon.
Oh, it's only like half a zone.
Planet, you can see that moon from the surface of the planet. It's a bit low in altitude, so I'm going to raise the altitude a little bit just for the sake of...
I'm just letting this play. I've already watched this. I just thought it was really cool. It is super awesome. You can make a planet over there.
There's a wide number of C-bars available, around 20, 30 or so at current count. If you disable it, you lose a little bit of performance. It does seem perfectly reasonable. Do sample count max input rate by
yeah, I'm not really sure what the story is about, what the frame speed for this is. Sorry. It's just like technically this is, I would think, designed for more of a film-based workflow rather than a game, real-time game. But I mean, it plays so fast that I don't know. It may not be like if this is the main piece of your project, then it would seem to justify that you could use this kind of expense. I think what he's doing right now is adding a starscape so that when you get out of the atmosphere, it plays the stars.
Same blending of colors and everything else.
Oh, or unless he's talking about the fog on the ground. I was kind of interested in it.
So if you have the normal exponential height fog, and just for information, the original atmospheric fog is not compatible together with the new sky atmosphere, but the exponential height fog is. So
okay. That was important to know. So let's zip this back over here. What do we got here? Atmospheric fog. So we need exponential height fog. So we're going to get rid of that one now, finally. And we'll bring in the exponential height fog. There we go. Now we got ourselves some cool fog. I wonder if he's going to be turning on, or I wonder if it already is turned on, the volumetric fog. No, it's not. It's still off. So this is just straight up original exponential height fog. Let's see what else he does with it.
Drag it in. So I'm going to combine the two, and this gives you some additional control over the fog because you need more density or up close or in valleys or anything like that. So dragged it into the world. Now by default, in fact, I can show you that by putting the height fall off a bit more extreme. So now we have very, very dense fog, but in the valley over here, by default, that will not respect the sky and atmosphere and the updating of the sun. So a few things that you would have to do. First of all, in the project settings, you would have to enable support sky and atmosphere affecting height fog.
Okay. Wow, I gotta pause this. Okay, so this is support sky atmosphere. All right. Let's jump over to the project settings. And we do support sky atmosphere affecting height fog. Boom. Oh, and we have to restart. Let's see what else he says before I restart.
Simply look for height or one of the other keywords and enable that. And once you've done that, also important is the coloring is actually additive. So fog in-scattering color and directional in-scattering color, they're additive.
Right.
You're supposed to make them black. And if you've done...
Okay. Sounds good. That's probably why it's looking a little funky right now. So I think it was this one. Where's my color wheel? Is that... Shouldn't I be expecting a color wheel right now? Okay. I can't change it. I must be doing something wrong. Oh, here, maybe this is the top. Yeah, this is what I want. Off. Oh yeah, that looks good. And what was the other one? Directional in scatter color. Okay, sure. All right, and then I think I gotta reboot it now, right?
On that, then it will now respect.
All right, we're just gonna do it anyways. Restart now. It's probably gonna ask me to save something. I hope. Good. Well, so far I think this is going pretty good. That was a lot of fun doing the sky thing. I was hoping it was going to work out with just the random landscape I picked of it. It does. It seemed to work out nice. It's pretty good. I think I may actually be done earlier to be able to. Hey, Gash is here. Way to go. Nice to see you back today. Yeah, we might be able to get into some Niagara stuff today after all. Well, we're not even in an hour, so yeah, it's going well so far. Hey. We're just waiting for, we're sitting here not doing anything, waiting for Unreal to finally open again on my other screen. Which hopefully it will. Oh, here we go. Hopefully we're not gonna have like 3 million shaders to compile again. Go back to the overview. Still asking me about this. All right, this might be accurate. Yes. Oh yes, I need my special hotkey, Control L, and then just move my mouse. I don't even have to click anything. Oh look, we're all snowy. That's probably because the texture isn't working. Well, hopefully it will come together when the shader compiles. In fact, the shader might have to compile because of the change I made. May be very much related. Sometimes that happens if you, especially when you change those project settings, it's like the whole math behind it has to be redone. I noticed this particularly if you do like ray tracing. If you switch your project into a ray trace compatible project, it's like, okay, we're going to compile all your shaders again. So you got to sit there and wait for a long time before you can see your stuff again. Let's see if there's anything else fun to watch while we're waiting.
Automatically, the same blending of colors and everything else, and update along with the sky blueprint, or in an actor you could say ontick updates the sky and atmosphere radially scattering when it gets evening or when a storm comes in or anything like that. You can do that on the fly. In my case, this was a little bit more challenging because I wanted to make sure that everything works entirely and only in the viewport. That was a bit more of a challenge. To facilitate that further, we've made a change that's going to come in 426 that will allow you to use construction scripts when using Ctrl L, because right now in 425 that is not yet supported. So what I've done now is I'm going to delete the directional light I placed a while ago, and I'm going to place a blueprint directional light instead. Here we are.
Not really sure what he's trying to do right now.
Everything looks the same, works again the same way. If you look at what I've done in that blueprint, I have a bit of functionality in here. So you're welcome to script any of this similar to what I've done. Because of this, I now have support for an eclipse. See the moon also rotating around.
I see.
And if ever I can get the sun to show up behind me.
So that's actually has to be manually put in. I thought that was just sort of a natural feature for it.
Freeze too much. Like this. I actually have support for an eclipse. Darkens and the sun comes out again. A bit of flickering from the Ctrl L previewing, but that works. And all of that is system through Blueprint. Now, as mentioned, this is running on construction script. In 4.25, the construction script does not update when you use Ctrl L. In 4.26 it will, and therefore it will enable this use here. If meanwhile you want to do something like this in 4.25, my workaround before is to build a blueprint widget, and in the blueprint widget you can do things per tick even in the editor. So I have the same setup over here, and that has the same results. Another important CVAR here is multi-scattering LUTs high quality. You can enable that. It will give you higher quality multi-scattering, and it will be noticeable both in space and on the surface of the planet. You will get nicer atmosphere too. The way I've done this, and again.
Okay, I think he gets into talking about how to do the stars in the sky, which is really neat, but
Volumetric clouds. If I move them,
volumetric clouds, which is totally not something you can do in 4.25. I'm definitely not going to worry about that right now. There we go. There's all the things that we can't do today, which is fine. What it already has able to do is amazing, so I'm pretty cool with that. Pretty cool with how it is right now. Oh, here's our landscape now. It's back again. And we still have this very thick atmosphere, very Martian sort of thing. Let's just do a quick change to that. So let's actually, you know what I forgot to do? Let's put our character in the scene. Make sure that the character looks... Of course, we got a bit of a stylized character from last week, so I don't know. Oops, this is height. I don't want to do that. What were we at? 10,000? Okay. What? Why did it go black? What did I do wrong here? I broke it. Definitely broke it right now. I just did something silly. Now it's broken. Okay. I don't even know what the strategy is to recover this. Let's, should I just maybe open the map again? Don't save. Let's see if it's the map. Oh, it is the map. All right. So whatever I did, don't do that again. And we're going to change the... Undo. Yes. That's right. What was I doing? I wanted to reduce the density of the fog here. We're still getting the atmospheric fog show up in there. I don't even know what the atmosphere absorption rate is. It's totally... I don't even know what that means. Like, how does that make sense? It looks awesome. I never experienced anything like that in real life. So yeah. Anyways, I actually just want... there we go. Bring it back to more of a real state. Maybe bring this back down so we get back closer to Earth. It still looks really yellowy. I mean, it is a bit of a sunset, I guess. Oh, there we go. So let's try that again. Sunset looks still sunset-y-ish. Sort of. I feel like we're not casting shadows. That... Oh, you know what it was? I bet you I just moved the sun under the ground. That's probably what happened last time. I wonder how we can cast shadows with this thing. Let's go to the light source. It's already set to movable. So we just have to make sure the shadows are casting, which they are. Maybe it's the landscape that's not casting shadows. Static shadows. Darn. Yeah, see, I did it again. It's just as soon as I move my mouse. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what the limitation is, whether it's the material of the landscape or whether it's the light itself is not designed originally for, it's designed for light baking, not for dynamic lights like this. So it's possible that all of this is, looking a lot worse than it needs to be. But I could technically bake the lighting, I guess. I don't know if that's actually a thing that it will do. Let me adjust my audio, my music here a little bit. It's a little noisier. So I guess what we could do is just leave the sun like this, and then you don't have to worry about shadows because you can't really even tell there is a shadow. So let's go to the ground. Wow, look at this. What is this all about? Whoa. Is that because of the static shadows thing I just clicked on? Dynamic indirect light. Wish there was just like a reset to defaults. I wonder how I can do that. I guess you just use these little yellow arrows. Let's see what is not default. Oh, I have that turned on. Maybe that's why. Dynamic indirect lighting. We're definitely getting some weird effects. Well, I don't know. I'm tempted to just build stuff and see what happens. Sometimes when you build stuff, it resets the light baking from previous setups and everything and fixes things up. Maybe that was the shadow. Oh, yeah, maybe that was the shadow and you wouldn't see it unless you got really close to it. So then you're more thinking about, okay, what is the distance of the shadow allowing? Dynamic shadow distance. I see it right there. That's cascaded shadow maps. Seems pretty high. Distance fade out. Far distance shadows. Oh, these are set. Let's see here. No. Do you think these are shadows? Yeah, they do look like shadows. Yes, I think they are. Well, isn't that interesting? This light baking is going to take eons, and I don't even have. This is actually not even it's a movable light, so I don't even know why. Effects world, cast shadows, use temperature, volumetric scattering. That one's the one we actually did have to turn on in order for all this to work. Cast static shadows, cast dynamic shadows. Yeah, there's, whoa, it actually looks a bit, no, I don't know if it does. That is a question for Google. What am I going to say here? UE4 shadow culling range. Shadows disappear with increased camera distance. Some gathered notes. Movable lights, movable, not static. Shadows display visibility, movable depending on the size. Shadow fade resolution controls how big the light has to be on the screen. It starts to fade out. Default value 64. Can lower this value to keep the shadows from fading out further distances. Oh, interesting. Shadow min resolution controls how big the light has to be. Finishes fading out. Pixel per pixel. This high resolution design. Well, that was a handy note. I give him credit for putting that together. Where would these values be, though? Let's just do a search. Fade distance. Well, it's under light function. He's calling it under shadow, but I think it's Do we have one that's called shadow? Also, this may not be a setting that's in the light. It might be a setting that is like in the project settings. So I might be looking in the wrong place. Let's check it out. Project settings. Fade resolution. Oh, fruit. That was hoping. Shadow. Huh. Would it really be an editor setting? That just seems ridiculous. All right. When using stationary movable lights or movable mesh, not static, the shadow visibility of the movable mesh. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm in the wrong. Yeah, so it's the mesh that we're talking about, not the... And it's a landscape mesh too, so... Interesting. Looking for things that might be interesting. Let's see, fade, resolution, fade. It's a bit more complicated with the landscape thing because it's not a static mesh. It's a special dynamic landscapable mesh, which I would imagine that you could control it for this scenario. I mean, this would be one of those practical instances where you would want to manipulate the long-term shadows. Oh, what's this? Set static shadow. The light baking is about to finish. It'd be like, what are you doing? This is totally not what I left it at. Other LEDs. No importance volume. Well, I don't really think baking lighting makes sense anyways because we're trying to do it with dynamic lights. Since it's supposed to be possible, we shouldn't have to use light baking if we want to move the sun around. But I don't know. We're getting into a point where I'm like, it's not working. Far shadow. Why is that? Let me turn it off. I'm so desperate. Please work if I turn it off. Oh, look, something just changed. Oh, here they are. Well, I'm gonna have to probably leave it because I've run out of things to try. And this advice is talking specifically about static meshes, which I mean, and maybe I have to do my search where I talk about landscapes instead. Landscape. That's the link I just clicked on. Yeah, anyway, I'm doing boring things now, so I may have to try something else for fun. But I'm worried about it. I'm gonna try something else and it's going to be like, oh, I'm stuck. As is the life of a game developer. Okay, well, I'm just going to leave it then, and we'll talk about, we'll bring the character in. We'll just have to put it somewhere where it doesn't seem so It's going to be tough. We really need like a higher resolution, higher resolution. Like it would be cool if we could like get a sunset in there, but because that does look much cooler than no sunset. But we have no shadows, so it's really breaking the illusion that it's looking good here. I don't even know what I'm going to do here. What we could do is maybe bring out a Quixel asset or something to make it look nice on high res, right where our camera is going to be. Let's take a look at what our cinematic is. We've got this cinematic posing. Open up the master if we put it together that way. And so we're here. And we're gonna have to change the location of the cinematic, which it's also bringing in the landscape or the capture reflection sphere, which I don't think is making a lot of sense in here. Oh, not the reflection sphere. That's good. It's the HDR backdrop. Maybe we'll just hide it. Mute. There we go. Now, I have no idea how to move a cinematic and whether it's even possible. I don't usually make a cinematic and then move it to the scene. I mean, I could just move all of these guys. Technically is the master. Can we add a transform or something to it? Doesn't. I don't know if it really exists as like a node. Boo. Okay, so the other option is to grab all of our objects, translate them uniformly together. Hopefully. This is oh, there he is. All right, we're gonna get over there eventually. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh man, I gotta get used to this keyboard controlling thing. It was so useful, but then I went too far and I didn't know what to do. Okay, so there we are. We're kind of in a landscape thingy thing. And we should probably save this. Check it out. Here's our new landscape. We may want to change our camera a bit. Get the camera up here. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, look at that. I got a follow. Excellent. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. KitKat 299. Got a follow. We've just got little splashy things that happen when things happen. It's awesome. I don't know much about it. I just know that it makes a noise and I can hear it. Then I know somebody's followed. It is fancy. In fact, that's the first time I've ever get to see it work during a stream. So congratulations to KitKat for being the first to make this strange alert thing work. It's awesome. I think the plan is to make these alerts a lot more customized so that they're like special CGS ones where we'll get like nice, get our VFX guys to do something fun. Anyways, so our landscape looks kind of fun. Let's see if we can get a nice shot here. Definitely all we're looking for is a blurry backdrop. That's already a really nice tight shot, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about what we're doing. Oh, except for I'm gonna go through the ground really easily here. Now the problem is I'm moving my camera and I gotta go move the people back to where it was. Oh, it'd be so cool if I could get all three of those layers. Let's slow this right down here. Ugh. The problem is I didn't actually pick where I wanted to be. I just kind of randomly got whatever happens. Let's see what we got around here. No, it works better on the other side. Well, it would be cool if I could get all three of those layers in there, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Oh, wait, if we do it over here, maybe. Let me just open the zoom in a little bit. So I got to make sure current focal length, open that up. So we'll turn off the camera so I don't accidentally mess it up again. We're going to move everything but the camera this time. And we'll bring it over to where the camera is. And I'm still thinking actually maybe we'll bring a Quixel asset to make it look a little better right up in the foreground there. So this may not even be the final plan here. Not even, oh, I am kind of close. Oh, maybe she could be like jumping over the hill here instead of a box. so not even for anything. It's just being silly here. Let's see what the camera sees. Oh yeah. It's kind of working. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be kind of weird. Oops, I just moved the player or the character here. Oh, for crying out loud. Ugh. All right, so instead of the box, we're gonna put in maybe a better asset. I just wanted to see if I could get that a better, like, I just like how it trailed off at the end of the shot there. Maybe we'll do something like this. She needs a mountain bike or something. That should be like jumping off the mountain bike. All right, I'll put it in game mode here. Okay, so we'll swap out the box for a Quixel asset. We'll talk about that because that's pretty appropriate for what we're talking about right now, anyways. And plus, I've got it all set up. I know I can get the Quixel asset pipeline to work right now. So we'll save that. Let's get all this stuff saved. And then I'll make sure I submit it. I've actually got quite a lot to submit here. I'm not sure. This like whole project of like this environment has not been saved yet. Or submitted, I mean. Which, I guess we can talk about that for a sec. So we jump over there and we get our, we don't want to submit saved or intermediates. We want to save, or we want to submit anything in content. So I'm just going to take the whole content folder and say mark for add and see what it picks up. Yeah, so we picked up a whole bunch of stuff. These are all like going to be assets, which are going to be good. And if we go to our pending change list here, just submit that. That means I'm going to have whatever it is I'm missing. Landscape assets. Let's change our CG background for a sec, for fun. I've only got the 2 still. It's something maybe I could try changing, is get a new background in there or something. I don't know. We could do this background somehow. I don't know. It'd be kind of boring. There isn't really many assets in here. It's just mostly a landscape. Okay, so we have everything submitted. We have our character doing some cool stuff. You see I have mega scans here. This is our Quixel asset connection. So we're going to put in, we're going to use Quixel Bridge. If you've never used Quixel, I definitely recommend it because it costs $0 and offers you 12,000 assets. It's like, it's a pretty good deal. Can't really complain about that. But the trick is you have to log in using your Epic account. So when I sign in, I gotta say sign in with Epic Games. And when you do that, oh, for crying out loud. It doesn't usually make me do this. Should have just did it. All right, hold on a sec. There we go. I had to carefully turn off my key press so I didn't just key press my password out there. And then, anyway, so when you sign in with Epic, it's different than if you sign in with a regular user because Epic has put a lot of money into Quixel to get the ability to have access to all the assets. And as long as you're using the assets for Unreal, you are legally allowed to use whatever you want. And so, which is very cool. Gash says, I've looked and dreamed. Haven't tried it yet. Oh yeah, VR stuff. Yeah. Oculus developer kit for Oculus. Very cool. I remember last time we talked, you had the Sony Morpheus VR thing or whatever. And that was probably a pretty successful purchase because I know those got good use. And part of the reason why I'm so hesitant to buy VR is because if you're not really using it, then it's just getting obsolete right away. And I don't really, I mean, I'm really curious. I definitely want to get into it. I have a buddy who has the Oculus Quest, and I've tried it and used it, and it has minimal processing capacity, but it is cordless, which makes all the difference. You have to apply to get the Oculus developer kit? I didn't know that. So you managed to get that in there. Very good. So what does that let you do? That lets you actually create on the Oculus equipment. Cool. Yeah, I can kind of see why mega scans would be intense, but I mean, as long as you LOD it right, it would still work. But yeah, like There's a reason why the VR has such a intense requirements. It's got to have high resolution, high frame rate, wide aspect ratio, and then show something that it's by the time you don't really get a whole huge heap of resources you can work with. But that's kind of why where I'm sort of stuck with VR. It's like I definitely want to get one. I'll hook it up to my PC and work with it using my video card, but you can't really get up and go anywhere. Send me the Oculus Go and the Oculus Rift for nothing. Holy jeez, dude. I am super jealous. Wow. So how did you do this? How do I apply for this? That sounds great. Oh, so you had to pitch them my idea as well. So you told them what you wanted to do with it, and then they sent you the equipment so that you can make it with it. And when did this happen? Is this, we're talking months ago or years ago? $12 months? Okay. Yeah, I'm asking that because I'm I know they were throwing tons of money at VR, and then all of a sudden it was oh, VR is not making any money. So then I don't know if they stopped or what happened there, but it was a good time to be tapping into the VR money rain. I have a few people I used to work with that got into VR production. It was just before the Quest was released. Yeah, the Quest is actually really cool. I mean, just being cordless is makes all the difference. I think personally, it's just suddenly it doesn't matter what you do. All of a sudden, your games can be different. You can go through complex mazes and do things that you're not worrying about cords and stuff, and it really opens up the possibilities. But yeah, it's still running on a much smaller processing unit because everything is internal. You don't get to stream your video from another computer, but apparently you can hook up a cable to it and it streams video, but there's something other than the Oculus Quest that does the hookup, manual hookup, but gives you the ability to utilize your video card. And that's about all I know. I'm not an expert, but I am very curious. One day I will be developing with it for sure. I definitely feel pretty confident with that because there's a lot of fun things I want to do with it, and I think it's pretty neat. And just when you know how to use a software that actually makes stuff like that, you're just oh, I'm so close. I just have to do it. Anyways, so this is Quixel Assets. We're going to talk about how to bring it over. It's going to be super easy. The real question is, what am I going to do? What am I going to bring in? So surfaces, not really surfaces. We want environments. We could do forest, or we could do something that stands out, it's ruins of I don't know if tropical jungle would make sense. Medieval, yeah. It's going to be tough. This is where you get into another conversation about using, instead of, this isn't probably going to work. You can bring something in like this and then use the Mixer, which is another software that Quixel does. So you got Quixel Bridge for bringing assets. You got Quixel Mixer to customize the assets to fit what it is you want to do. And it's another software that I don't know very much about. Oh, it is, makes sense. Tree stumps or something. That I don't know very much about because it's just one of these softwares that, very much directed towards Quixel assets. But there's been some videos recently that I saw that were really utilizing it and just adding moss and adding things to be able to make it fit the scene. Let me talk about what the video it was, because share that with everybody here. It was a recent asset that was put up on the marketplace. We were just talking about it recently. I just found out about this week, I guess. Megascans, photoreal creation, environment creation, and this was May 20th, so a couple weeks ago. But you can download this project for free, and they're just using lots of Quixel assets. But in this video, they talk about importing, but they also talk about how to create. Oh, here it is. Take this cardboard box and then change it up so that it suits the need and the look that you want inside your scene. Which, there's a lot of interesting things here. I would say this is comparable to the kind of direction that Substance Painter is, but I just don't know enough about it to know where it sits in comparison. It might be its own unique thing, but it's cool. It breaks up the ability to do more than yeah. So still don't know what I'm doing. Oh, tree stump. Oh no, I was looking at this ancient stuff for fun. Yeah, like this. We could just have this weird ancient block here. All right, we'll do this one. And so I've already got my side set up fairly well, so it's going to be a lot easier to look. But basically, you download the asset, and it brings this FBX, a bunch of texture files, onto your computer from the web, and then you can just find these FBX files in your library and use them. You don't even have to legally or whatever, you're not supposed to use it for Maya, but you can just import them into Maya and work with them. But what the whole point of Bridge is it allows you to take what you see in the picture and have it reproduced in the software you want to use it for. And in this case, it's Unreal. So when we go to the export settings, there's the option to export it to Unreal, and then you want to say what version it is. So we're working in 4.25. And so it's asking you, where do you want the installation folder? This is the plugins folder for the project, for your engine. So program files, Epic Games, 4.25, you got to make sure you're in the plugins folder. And then once it finds it, it starts to install it automatically. It's a bit weird. I actually find this not easy to do. Oh, look, there's an update available, which I'm not going to do because sometimes it just sits there and loads forever. And I don't really want to sabotage what I've almost got working here. And then, I don't know, the project location is irrelevant. I don't know what, it's not irrelevant. I just don't know what the advantage is. So anyway, we're exporting the engine. You have to have the engine open at the same time in order for it to work. You have to install the plugin. You have to restart Unreal so that this little icon shows up in order for it to be able to read that it's talking to the bridge. It's kind of a pain in the butt at first because you got to set up all these connections. You can see down here it's saying convert 2 of 5 textures. And once it's done that, it should send it out of Mixer. And all of a sudden in Unreal, we're going to start seeing importing. And it assembles all the textures with the materials using the proper wiring so that the final result looks like what you're expecting it to look like. And it also, I find it shares materials. It optimizes itself so that you get a nice balance of, or you get a nice connection between what you like. It's reusing things basically, and you're getting material instances to work with instead of raw materials, so that you can just play with it, tweak with it, and share the functionality of the parent material. Whew. So here's our LODs. Here's our folder, Mega Scans, brought it in. Here's our asset. We should be able to just drag that into our scene here. It's actually a lot smaller than I expected. There it is. Seems pretty good. It's got all the details. It's got a really hardcore shadow. I also forget where the cinematic was happening, so I'm just turning on the cinematic. Okay. Whoops. turn off my rotation snapping so I can make finer details here. I have no idea what's going on here with this hand. What's going on? There it is. So that cube, we don't need it anymore. I'm gonna mute it. See what that looks like. Hit, whoops. Just modified the camera. I was gonna try to hit G so I can change it. Let's get the focus figured out. We just have to select the camera, do the eyedropper tool. Whoops, we managed to pick the mountains apparently. There we go. Let's go back and tighten that up again. Still got this silly mesh down here, which should probably fix this properly, but that means I have to go back to all the old files and get rid of all this stuff. And I'm like, is there a better way I can deal with this? Maybe what I can do is rotate the rock. So we'll turn off our camera, do a bit of rotation. What are we at? An hour and a half? All right, I still got half an hour. I might be able to get some preliminary VFX Houdini stuff working. Just enough so that we can get a taste of what we're going to deal with. And then we can take I wonder what that looks like. No, didn't fix anything. This is for some reason unnecessarily complicated. It's a little rock now. Wow, it's like so far out there. I just having trouble getting that to work here without having to fudge a whole bunch of stuff here. There. Darn. Oh, let's just raise this up a little bit. What you can't see won't kill you. All right. Anyways, I'm not even sure if this is the most amazing thing to ever be doing, so I should probably reduce my time being spent doing this. Just out of curiosity, let's... No, I'm pushing the wrong button. What is this button that I'm hitting that's making it play all the time? Oh, L. I did not know L was the hotkey to play. Whoa, it plays it even faster even. Okay, I don't even know what to think of that. So all I'm trying to do is hit Control L. Because I want to change the lighting, but that's not working right now. Oh, here we go. It's handy to be able to change the lighting like this. Oh, that might be interesting if we can do it this way. Holy jeez. Where is the lights? Oh, there we go. Sunset light. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm really not really getting the look I want. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. All right, a little bit of a sunset thing. Yeah, it's cool. Oh, let's try this. What is it? Sky atmosphere. No, that's the height. Wow, it's a much different number here. What was it? 8,000. And then the light has to go higher. I wish I had saved it. Oh, what have I done? Don't touch the height. That's hilarious. That's exactly what I did. Ah. Fingers crossed that when I restart, it's going to work. 83. Oh. And what do I have it now? It's 60? Yeah, I don't understand why it's 60. Oh, atmospheric height. See, this is the problem. I got it mixed up with the other number last time. Ground radius is 10,000. Atmospheric height. This is probably what I did last time. I love how I'm not learning my lessons. All right. Let's see if I can reopen. Should I reopen the map? This is why source control is kind of handy sometimes, because it's like, well, if it all fails, I have technically saved a version with source control. But I wouldn't really want to go back to that because I'd have to go and carefully extract all the stuff I've done from my sequencer file here. Where is the project? Well, I could have done these rocks too. Posing level? No, that's not right. I want to go to landscape, maps, overview. Oh no. I brokenated it. Let's do a new sky sphere. Why not, right? That should work. What is it? Lights? Cinematic? Visual? There it is. Visual effects. Sky atmosphere. Maybe it's not the sky atmosphere that's broken. Maybe it's the light source. There it is. It was just under the ground. So I think it was a combination of me having to make a new version and then also pulling it out of the ground. Actually, I think it looks a little better when I restarted it. Oh, look, and the shadows are working. Is that right? That would be awesome. They are working. I think. Oh, no, wait. They are only working within the range of my visibility, which is a much bigger range now. But, like, for example, if I go this way. There it is. Yeah, so. Anyways. It's different, that's for sure. So we'll jump back to the camera. What's going on there? Oh, good. That's kind of cool. I don't even know why the character is so well illuminated there. That's cool. We're getting a shadow cast. It's working out nice. I can't control what I'm doing, but whatever. So we'll stop there. Let's make sure the focus is working again because it seems like it's a little blurry. And then we'll I think it's just the rock is blurry. Let's grab the rock and take a look at the texture LOD settings here. Some of it's in detail. Oh, there, now it's in detail. I was worried that it's like LODing because it's a little too far away because of that zoomed camera. But it seems fine. Okay, yay, we're okay again. Let's save all this stuff. There was this plan, remember last time? I was gonna do stuff like, oh, let's change the landscape. Let's change the color of the sky atmosphere. And then I went, broke it. Not the ground radius, not the atmosphere height. Render a frame and post it somewhere. I want to see. All right. Sounds good. I don't even know what posting it somewhere is going to be like, but let me just try some inventive styles here. Yeah, you can definitely make it foggy, that's for sure. Let's go back to defaults for these. Yeah, just a lot of like experimenting here. I don't even know. We got a sunset, so we should probably make it sunset-y. But it looks very hazy, like it's like terrible air condition over here. Unless you make it clear and then put some fog in there. But that's like not really the theme that might make sense. Okay, so render it. Let's do sequencer render, and we will do an image. This is the whole thing. I don't want to render all the frames. I just want to render custom start frame, custom end frame, 2, and not sure what that means. I thought we were doing images. Okay. I have no idea where I'm going to post this, except for like on Slack. Oh, here we go. No, that's not it. I gotta go find this folder here. Saved. There we go. Here's our new ones. Ugh, it still needs a lot of work. It's like, it's kind of cool. Needs some proper bounce lights and all these other things. It's just like, it looks like a photograph that was taken without any pre-planning. Still don't know where I would put this if I wanted to put it somewhere. It is a nice high-res shot though. Okay, so I'll think about where to put it later. Unless you have an idea that you can toss me, then go ahead. But unless I can, like, I don't think I can post anything on Twitch, like an image or anything, as far as I know, unless I'm wrong. We've got 20 minutes, maybe more like 15 minutes. We have our scene. We have a landscape. Actually, that landscape looks cooler, just a wide angle like that. And I had this ambitious idea to talk about Niagara, which I'm starting to contemplate whether I should even talk about it because it seems so like crazy to jump into that at this stage. Okay. If you really want it directly to you, I can definitely email it to you. It would be kind of cool to just post it on somewhere, but it's just out of context. It just posting it on Slack would be like, what is this image that's just got posted for no apparent reason? But anyway, so we can talk about Niagara a little bit. I think what we'll do is intro it, and then next week we'll get into it more deeper. I would kind of like to keep going with this and maybe create something that works with this cinematic sequence, like what we did today, just adding to it. And that gives us kind of a focus and a goal. But like, what would we do now? I don't know, create dust or something. But Niagara is like a totally different kind of tool set that allows you to do a lot of very interesting, like it really opens up a lot of control for what you can do with it. And I'm not even a VFX guy. I come from a technical animation background. So a lot of it's very foreign to me, but so to everyone else who's just learning Niagara, because it just came out. It was, the final release, or at least a non-beta release, came out in 4.25. So it's quite new still. And, I have worked with Cascade, which is what it's basically replacing a fair bit. So there's some comparison between the two. But it definitely is a whole new kind of ballgame for discussion points. But I wonder if there's something that we can do. You can also grab tons of pre-made assets off of the marketplace that would be like dust related. That would probably be more the logical thing to do in this context, rather than trying to invent something from scratch. But I'm trying to learn something, so it's a little bit of a different motivation. I wonder if we type dust and we filter it by particle. Oh yeah, so there's some particle packs. Oh, that one you have to pay for. Let's see if I can find anything that's free. Wasteland. Oh, there's that Wasteland one too. Yeah, I don't really see any free particle packs that might be what we want. There is definitely free particles. I don't know what I'm looking for though, but let's see here. What am I gonna do? Let's create a folder and get it started. New folder, VFX. We'll get a new Niagara under the effects. There's two things. There's an emitter and there is a Niagara system. And the Niagara emitter is where you create all the details for your effects, and then the system is the thing that plays it, which is a little different than what the Cascade was like, because Cascade, you just throw the emitter on the ground and it starts to show up. But from my short experience with it, I realized we have to create two different types of ones. And let's make something that has a template. That might actually make our lives a little easier. And use omnidirectional burst, hanging particles. Oh, hanging particles, that sounds good. Directional burst. Let's do that. Open it up. This is the part I do not know what I'm doing. Let's see if we can get it into a system. What do we have for a template of systems? Radical burst, simple explosion, directional burst. We'll use the selected emitters. Oh, look, we've already got some here. I thought I was going to be able to. Yeah, there it is. This guy, we already just created him. So we drag him into the scene. There we go. We're getting particles already. Boy, that was easy. We have snowflakes. This doesn't make any sense. But if we can get it so that it's more concentrated, maybe darker. I think next week what I'll do is I'll try to get more focused on different tutorials. And like what's really neat about Niagara stuff is that you can like attach types of particles to other types of particles, so that you get like if fireworks has like different types of explosions or different types of things that follow it. Like you have a sparkle, but then you have a trail that comes with it and stuff, and things that were much harder to do in Cascade. So we could, potentially come up with something that would work. That if I was really ambitious, I would actually create an animation, but I don't know if that's necessary. But it would allow us to, like, I don't know what you would do in this case. Shoot the gun, I guess, or something. I have to sit down and think about it for a while. So this is the part I don't know. I don't know how to use the emitter. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. It's going to have somewhat a relation to how Cascade works in terms of, having options for manipulating different categories, and probably the order that it's layered in is making a difference. So various things like drag and noise that's affecting the particle as it's being processed gives you a lot of control, but I feel like this is going to be a big learning curve for me. So I'm going to take a stab at this next week for sure, and see what kind of stuff we can do with it, see what kind of things we can at least explore, and maybe turn this particle system into something that's a little more appropriate. Like, I was thinking more like dust blowing, or maybe rocks rolling down the hill, or something like that. That would make more sense. But yeah, I don't know. Rocks rolling down the hill actually makes a lot of sense. But it would be technically a freeze frame, which is a little different than what I was thinking. Maybe we could just remove the character and just do a freeze frame. Or not do a freeze frame, but do a sequence where the rocks and dust and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up before I get too boring. But hopefully that gives you a little heads up on what's going on next week. And if anyone has any ideas or anything that, let's jump over to my cam here. If anyone has any ideas or anything else that they want to talk about that might be more interesting than Niagara, or has any particular direction that we should go with the Niagara thing, then I think that would be awesome to contribute. Thanks for joining me and keeping company, Gash, while I was here, and supporting me as I was going through my ups and downs. But I'll leave it there, and I'll be back again next week at the same time to talk about some more CG Unreal stuff, whatever the new technology is. So I'll leave it there and sign off. Take care, guys.